Hello, and you're very welcome to the second official episode of Criffany Riffs. I am Christopher.
Christopher or Chris?
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tiffany.
And together we are
Criffany Riffs.
And today we are going to be talking about exercising, but more specifically, not like just exercises like jump jacks and running on the spot and lifting crazy fucking weight.
Those are called jumping jacks for every American listener.
Oh, you fucking dick. You're trying to sabotage us just straight out the fucking gate.
No.
Don't be fucking pedantic or just don't do it.
Like you said, this
Drop
is you and
the
me.
ing. What did I say? I can't remember. Did I say jump jacks?
You said jump jacks, and I just wanted to let everyone know in case they were confused. Jumping jacks was, the Americans.
I'm sure there's Americans everywhere just fucking making little bald spots in their head, scratching it, fucking like, what the fuck is a jump jack? Yeah, I'm positive they are. They know. For all our American meow. For all our American listeners, I'd like to shit. Oh. Don't speak for me. Don't fucking. I'd like to apologize for once again, because you did it in the last episode. I'm fucked here now. You did it in the last episode as well. You had to spell it out for the Americans because you didn't think they'd be able to decipher what I was trying to say.
I'm just I'm a bridge. I'm a ladder.
You're a fucking grammar Nazi, son. Big fucking. All right.
I'm gonna tut now.
So exercise. This is interesting because prior to the beginning of this recording, we were recording a previous podcast about exercise, and I wanted to see what Tiffany's relationship was with it, and she was giving me the
relationship and air quotes here, people. I just want you to know I'm making air quotes.
Yeah. So like, let's just be fucking blunt here. Are you air quoting me now? Fucking blunt. Tiffany wants to be seen.
No, why don't you let me take this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Because
I'll
tell them.
Yeah, I'll be too honest.
Yeah,
I'll be
tell
way
them what
too
I
honest.
want them to know. No,
Put that mic up to your face.
I'm putting it up to my face.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. That's good.
So, no, I think that. So we were talking about fitness, and we were talking about, and when he said right before he pushed record, we're going to talk about fitness, I was like, oh, fucking great. Like, it's great. He is a fitness instructor. He's really into it. And I very much enjoy going to his classes.
No. When you say I'm really into it, I touched
wait. Just let me finish. We'll come back.
Set me up for a big old trap.
No, I'm not. But he's very good at his job. And so, like he said in a previous moment, like, if he wasn't a fitness instructor, he probably wouldn't be, doing 3 cardio classes a day. But now he is, and he's getting the benefits of that, hella endorphins.
Yeah, like when you said Jody went out for like a 12
kilometer run.
Yeah, I was all like, and Jesus, you'd want to be paying me to do that. Like, on my day off, I can't imagine going for a fucking run. Like, I'm like,
12 kilometer run. But, so we were talking about all this stuff, and I was just getting more and more anxious as we were sitting on the couch talking about all this stuff.
Why is that, Tiffany?
And it's because I kind of have issues with perfectionism and anxiety in that way, and this desire to control how I am seen by the world. I want people to see me, especially if this is a media product. Not only are we talking to, each other, but we have a very, a fledgling audience, and I want to be seen in a certain way. I mean, I think we all do to some extent. Look at how we dress, how we cut our hair, how we, the image we
our
present.
Profile pictures on Facebook.
Exactly. So there's a way that we, and I feel like some of that also does influence the behaviors now. We're so used to crafting an image, an avatar of our lives that, and this is another medium, another extension of myself. The way that I speak and the way that I am with you and with a microphone is going to be maybe a little bit different than if I were just talking to one person in any given part of my day on a random sidewalk or in the cafe. So I have this image of myself in my head as, less Bridget Jones, falling off of a spin bike, and more, like those ads that you see where women are running in beautiful straight lines and with their lithe, tan, tattoo-less bodies and the beautiful workout gear.
And not a bead of sweat in their fucking heads.
Oh, yeah, and the beautiful long ponytail with no bangs so they don't have to pin them back. I mean, and that's fringe for all of you on the Irish side of the house. Just, so that it works both ways here. I'm not just going to correct his phrases.
I'm going to leave that one off, actually. I was like, bangs.
Yeah, fringe.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Thank you for doing that, Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like when I say something. Americans are like, what the fuck is a jump jack?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Oh, jumping jack.
Jumping jacks.
Were you going to
Gotcha.
say Japanese? What the
No,
hell?
I didn't say that. But, so there's that, that's
edit.
that's the image that I have, that I want to be closer to. I don't want to align myself with this sort of place of restarting my relationship to fitness, because at other times in my life I have been much more fit and much more thin, and I felt like I was achieving some form of social and cultural success.
Now I got a question to ask. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, this image that you want yourself to just fall into,
mm-hmm.
like, who gave you that image?
Well, I think part of it is formed by looking backward over, and the funny thing is, so when I think about image in that sense, or when I think about body image, or I guess my ideal image of myself, it's a constantly moving goalpost, as I don't know if we talked about it in the last one, but I've been talking about that with people a lot lately, that we move the goalpost so we're never satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look back at pictures of myself, say from 2013, and I'm like, wow, I was thin there. I'd also recently ended a long-term relationship. I lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah,
I started riding my bike everywhere. And so I got super thin.
But that wasn't like super healthy.
No, it wasn't like the healthiest one. But when I look at the images, when I look at the pictures, as I know that backstory. But when I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I was getting closer to whatever ideal has been put forward, but also I was riding my bike like 100 miles a week. It was maybe more than that sometimes. I was super active. And I think, again, that was another way to balance out kind of my, like, the emotional wreckage, that was going on inside of me. It was a way to kind of, and that's, in a way, I feel like as well, that's part of how fitness has been for me here as I've restarted it. Trying to go 3 times a week. I think I've made it 3 times a week for 2 of the 3 weeks. 1 week I went once. So
got to start somewhere.
Right. But I think that was, some of it actually is about trying to offset, like the depression that comes with, I think transitioning to a new culture, a new country, a new economic system in certain ways, or like employment systems, and just trying to assimilate, but also the sunlight is exactly like reversed from what I'm used to, so these all kind of play on mood and can.
It's funny actually, you mentioned mood and depression.
Move.
Oh, Christopher, Jesus, I was waiting. It's like, now I'm gonna jump and fucks it up, because exercise is like, it's just the natural antidepressant.
Right.
And like, even last night, Tiffany did a class with me last night, and I have to say, she was very, very impressive. She came through it. It was a tough class. But you were saying that when you were going home, you were just fucking buzzing.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I was on cloud 9. I've never realized how much of an endorphin high I get from things. But I think as well, I've taken kind of a break from routine kind of intense fitness. I walk everywhere now. I have that more passive kind of flâneur kind of fitness. That sort of, I'm going to walk from to this place and have tea and cake. Yeah, and then I'm going to walk to that place. So it's kind of there's
your exercise ties very well into like logistics.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like the transportation of goods or services from A to B effectively.
But that's the thing. I that's why I loved riding a bike so much when I was living in Colorado, because it's about logistics. It's about going from point A to point B to point,
Fitness is just a byproduct of getting yourself from A to B.
And also, especially when I would be living in Loveland and working in Fort Collins, that was like 15 miles each way. So, from the lower part of, Loveland to the upper part of the upper edges of Fort Collins, so that's a lot of you're taking care of your fitness and you're transporting yourself to work. And so you're killing two birds with one stone. It's so efficient.
It was interesting just going back to that conversation about body image. Do you remember when we were in Thailand together and all I wanted was a 6-pack because I'd never had a 6-pack before.
Oh yeah, and you started drinking those shakes made of pineapple, banana, and apple, and orange.
Never gonna get a 6-pack drinking that shit.
Like 2 a day, and that was you're like, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it.
when I came back to Ireland and I started figuring out 1 or 2 things about nutrition, because you can do 1,000,000 crunches, you'll never get that
Abs
6-pack.
are made in the kitchen. I learned it from Bree Greenlee. Bree Greenlee, if you're listening.
Yeah, it's
Shout
all
out.
about that diet, but when I finally got that 6-pack, do you remember when I got it?
Yeah.
Like, that's all I ever wanted, just to see. And I was getting old. Like, I was 27.
You were not getting old.
It's the older you get, the tougher it is. Like, 21, 22, like 18. That's when you want to be fucking, like, at your peak. I feel like I'm only peaking now. But when I got that 6-pack, I was like, oh, awesome. Now what? Where do I go now? Now I got to maintain this fucking thing? Shit. What does that mean? No sugar? I fucking love sugar.
That's the thing. You love sugar, so maybe it's just the 6-pack could be seasonal.
Yeah, summer, beach body, as they say. But do you remember I went into ketosis when we were living with my parents?
Did you do it there, or did you?
I was only
here?
having chicken and
veg.
And
veg. Yeah.
I had no fruit.
Those veg bags of veg, the ones that are all prepped.
That's all it was. And do you remember I'd go out for sprints?
Oh,
and then go lift.
Yeah.
And that's all it fucking was. And then I got the 6-pack. No, we couldn't afford gym membership. Do you remember that? I was just doing the pull-ups upstairs in my fucking bathroom.
And you were doing like push-ups and pull-ups.
200 a day, on 100 pull-ups.
Yeah.
I was starting to whatever. But like, again, that conversation about body image, like I just wanted to look good for me, for you, to try and like fall into that, like that society kind of, like I just wanted to look good for people, just be like, oh, he looks good. Like I was worrying about other people, much like a lot of people do. You I'd imagine, you just want to look good. So,
but I also think that it's also, it's tied up in my image in my relationship to fashion and how I dress myself. There are certain things that look better on slimmer me than they do on winter me. And
you can't deny that bigger people are treated differently in society as opposed to like
even people in my family. Like I think that I've noticed that their experience of the world is different than my experience of the world, and generally speaking, women on that on my mom's side of the family have a little bit of a struggle with weight and fitness and food and all those things. There's a lot of things tied up in it, but I think as well it's part of the that culture that we're in, and we're still somehow in. Like, God, Twiggy became like the new hip thing in, I believe, the 60s. Like she was like an uber skinny model and starting this trend of like uber skinny models. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. And so that was in the 60s. What decade is it now? I mean, that was 50 years ago, and we're still really hyped on this body image of thin.
Yeah.
And some of it is like really dangerous. And I see when I'm there at the gym, just working out in the studio, not in the studio, in the fitness sort of like with all the machines.
Yeah,
and
the
everything.
gym area.
Yeah. I see people there who are just skin and bones, but they're still just going. So there's always going to be, I think, what's that word that I'm looking for? Like a sort of a sickness or like a disease, like when you take something to an extreme. Like obviously anorexia and bulimia, these are diseases because there's such a disconnect between how one sees oneself and how one is. And I would say that on a very small level, I can relate, because when I will look back at pictures of myself, say from like 2013 or 2000 and was it 9 or 10? 10, I think, both times where I had just kind of, maybe it was 2009, ended a long relationship and things were, where I had to change my habits from driving a car every day to riding a bike every day, and I never felt like I was like that I'd gotten to the goalpost. I always felt like I still had more to go and more to go, and it wasn't enough and wasn't enough. But I look back at myself now and I'm like, dang, I looked good. Like I looked healthy. I looked right to me, like like the
through the lens of society and how
not even just that, but like I looked like right for my shape, And so then, but at the time, I still felt really self-conscious about my size, which is crazy, if because I was never going to get to the goalpost that society sets, and even if I didn't want to admit that I am influenced by it so heavily, I am. I consume images. That's part of like loving fashion or being interested in that aspect of art. You are constantly consuming images pretty much only of people who are small.
And it's not just women. I mean, guys fall into it. There's a guy at the gym now, I won't name him, but we've been having a lot of conversations about steroid usage. This guy's thinner than me. Like, he's very thin. And he just wants to be he wants to compete like Mr. Olympia, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 70s, 80s. He wants to get massive.
And how does he get massive? I mean, without obviously the hard work.
See, the thing is, this guy, he's not educated, and I'm not trying to slight him here, but he just doesn't know that like there's two huge cornerstones in fitness, and that's lifting. If you want to get super big, lift fucking heavy and eat like a fucking horse. This guy does neither, and he thinks that steroids are just the silver bullet or the shortcut that's going to get him there. But even if he did take steroids, he'd still have to lift like a fucking tank or a forklift and eat just like an army. But again, he has it in his head that he has to look like this, and come hell or high water, he's going to get there. Now, in a certain way, I kind of like, I respect that, or like the guy knows what he wants, and it's a goal for him to achieve. But
it's a super unrealistic goal in the immediate future.
It's a dangerous. The way he's approaching it is very dangerous because he wants it and he wants it now. Now I know exactly what that feels like. I'm very impatient.
You want it now?
Yeah, but you gotta just. Same with the fitness game. It's a long haul. Like, I've had people come into me and say, I've got a wedding in like 2 months. I want to get from a size 14 to an 8.
Whoa,
how do we make this
sizes.
happen? Yeah, and there are extreme ways of doing that.
Ooh, like that Moby song, Extreme Ways.
You'll have to play that for
me
later.
It's the Jason Bourne one. Oh, if I could find it right now.
Not right now. We're working.
I know we're working. But they might want to hear it too. But it's the
copyright
Jason Bourne
infringement.
one.
We can't do this shit. We can't do that.
Play like 30 seconds.
Don't even hum it. Don't even think about it. Are you thinking about it?
No.
Stop.
Okay. Continue. But there are extreme ways, is what you said.
Yeah, I mean, going on ketosis. I mean, I did that. You saw, like,
that's no sugar, no nothing. That's all just basically protein and vegetables.
Yeah, not even fruit. Can't even have fruit.
And no sugar.
No sugar. It's just vegetables and protein, like chicken.
So you're basically going into, what is it, an alkaline state in your body, so that, I don't know, something that like
your primary source of energy is going to be fat because you're not getting any carbohydrates in.
Oh, so that's right. So that's why it's just going to eat your fat stores.
Yeah, everything you do is just everything you do, like scratching your nose, going to the bathroom, lifting weights. It's all powered by fat. So you just fucking shred. And I did shred, but I lost a lot of size as well, which sucked because I bust my hump putting that on.
Yeah.
And that was shit for me. I'm only starting to get it back now, but like, what is that, like fucking 4 or 5 months? Exercise is fucking tough, guys.
Yeah.
It's so tough. It's easier to put on muscle than it is to shred fat. And I think that's where a lot of people just get freaked out, like, because it's such a long haul. And they want it now and they want it fast. But
have you noticed, I guess when I think about that, I do think about the fact that it is a long haul. But I've noticed that even just this last year in Ireland, I've been in Ireland for about a year now, it has flown. Like, if I look back, it went so fast. So if I have a fitness goal that's a year long, I think, if I want to get to a certain place within a year, which is, I think, pretty doable, I imagine that time will go much quicker than I think it will. It's just that certain times, you get kind of, in the middle, but I think that's, you get further than you think you do.
But think about it, Tiff. I mean, those classes that we do, they're only 45 minutes. 45 minutes. And like, it doesn't even feel like 45 minutes.
Well, I would say that there are a few different ways of doing the classes. The way you do them, it doesn't feel like 45 minutes because you break it up into little manageable blocks. And so all you're thinking about is, I have to work really hard.
4 minutes.
Yeah. So, but then each minute has 2 exercises. So for the next 8 exercises, I have to work really hard. Then I get a minute. And, and so I think that makes it really like a bunch of mini classes. And then I feel like there's almost some psychological trick that's making you think, I will expend more energy because I only have to do it for this long.
And at the end of each round, I'm saying, okay, round 2. Okay, round 3, we're halfway there. Round 4 of 6, we're almost there. And then when we get to round 6, like sometimes I can't even believe we're at round 6,
Yeah. But I think that's, so 45 minutes does fly. And if you can commit that 45 minutes to your body 5 days a week.
Which is, all you have to give is 45 minutes out of the day. Now, I know a lot of people work and just trying to find the time. You have a family and this and that and obligations. I understand that. But these are our bodies. Like, they have to get us from the maternity to the graveyard, and we have to try and take care of them as best we can. Now,
Yes.
I'm not going to try and fucking lecture people. I know some people have circumstances and they can't afford to go to the gym. Or you said it earlier, actually, and I wanted to touch it a little bit. You said habit.
Oh, yeah.
So exercise can be a habit, but you know what else is a habit? Just like doing fucking nothing can be a habit.
Oh, yeah.
And habits are very hard to break.
And that's something that I agree with, especially because I think there's certain habits I've formed in this environment, that, the first decision is always, like when you're forming a habit, it's like it becomes easier each time you make the same decision. It's like there's like almost like a pathway, and then it just becomes like it's like you're digging it down and digging it further down, and so you're creating almost like a trench that it just is easier to roll down that as opposed to carve out a new trench. So
even our bodies do it, like neurological pathways.
Yeah.
Like even in the way we exercise or walk or run, like. From the time you're little to the time you're old, you're going to have like a unique signature run that nobody else has, and you can't, it would be very, very difficult to unlearn that, So if that's just like in our movement, think it like our psyche.
Oh, yeah.
If we have those like ingrained into our fucking personalities.
And it becomes easy. There's a great song by Ani DeFranco, which is called Out of Habit. And there's a line in which she says, well, the butter melts out of habit and the toast isn't even warm. I just thought that would be a nice little segue into, another.
Say it again?
The butter melts out of habit.
The toast isn't even warm.
The toast isn't even warm.
Jesus.
Right. Oh, yeah. Habits.
Clean up the fucking room. My brain has just been fucking blown.
Yeah, well, it's
I can't
very
believe
good.
I said that. Editing that.
Hashtag.
Edit.
Hashtag editing.
Christ, that was lame, wasn't it?
To sound.
That was lame.
To sound less lame.
Jesus.
But so just the habits that I'm noticing that the more I'm exercising in a week, the more likely I am to go back the next day. Like if I did it yesterday, I'm more likely to go back today. Like today I had a bunch of stuff to do, but I'll probably go back tomorrow night. But if I take like 4 days, it's easier to take a 5th. So I think that it's, especially in this early time, I want to kind of work on getting to the point of going 5 times a week, but I'm saving that for not Christmas.
Yeah. Get that sugar in now, Tiff.
Yeah, I'm getting it in.
Come January.
Oh, yeah, so if anyone's listening and, you happen to see me, just be like, yes, eat the sugar.
Let me bounce something off you real fast, actually. Talking about habits, and some people who may be sedentary and just don't have a great active relationship with physical activity, may look at it like it's some sort of black smudge, like some sort of like manifestation of just fear
and like a big mountain.
A big mountain. Thank you.
A lot of storms on top.
Thank you because I had no idea where I was going with that.
I was like, are we talking about like the smoke monster from Lost? Like, like coming and like shaking people out of trees.
It's
and
a polar bear. Exercise is a polar bear on a desert island.
No, the smoke monster was not a polar bear. The smoke monster was
Wasn't
something
there
else.
a polar bear?
There were polar bears. Yeah, they did get shot.
Hashtag spoilers. But some people look at it like that, and once they start to climb the mountain, if we can use that analogy,
yes,
It is fucking tough. It's not like, oh, it ain't so bad. I don't know what I was afraid about. No, it's fucking tough. Same for, and we're not even talking about exercise here. We're talking about like if you have a fear of public speaking or public reading, like I have a terrible, terrible fear of reading in public.
Or even just reading to me.
Reading to you because I'm stumbling and I'm like, oh God, I hope I sound as coherent as she does, and I just get in my own head, and it's a big point. Like I'll have to address it at some stage.
Right, so that you can read to me while I knit.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be nice?
I just don't. Do I have a nice voice for it?
You do.
Do I?
You got that beautiful sort of, lilting Irish tone.
Yeah, it's not too thick. It's not one of those thick Limerick accents that you love and adore.
That nasally sound.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is these habits can be broken.
Of course, and I think that the easiest thing is not to break them. Obviously, that's the easiest. Like, you do nothing and you continue to have the habit, but making a new habit is initially more difficult. But after you form it, it just becomes like the other habit was. It's there. It becomes something you do naturally or without thinking.
And of course, perspective is important. Like there are bad habits, picking
nail biting. God, what are the other ones?
Is that a bad habit? See, I don't think that's a bad habit.
Oh yeah, everyone hates that habit. Yeah, we bite our nails, but it's a bad habit.
Says who?
It's rude and stuff. Believe me, talk to Susan Glenn. She will tell you all about
Kirby.
All about it. She, even if I'm talking to her on the phone and she can hear me bite it, it's just stop biting your nails. It's like it's a quick, sharp like.
Why?
Because it's disgusting. There's that's what everyone says, but Anyways, these are bad habits, you know, and so they can be broken. But even just it's interesting. I think you have to kind of look at yourself a bit and realize and ask yourself why you have this habit. Like, why is it sticking around? Why? What are you getting from it? I think about that with my relationship to coffee with milk. Do I really need the milk? It
gives it a different flavor.
Well, of course, it tastes nice, but I don't know if I really am super into the dairy industry. So, but what do I like? Do I even really love coffee, or is it just I drank it for so long? It's what I do.
Ooh, do I love working out, or have I been doing it for so long?
Well, but it gives you endorphins. Oh, I guess caffeine. Yeah, caffeine does give you the.
Oh, you're going there?
Oh, that's what
you're starting again.
Damn it.
Oh.
Okay.
Hashtag edit.
Hashtag edit. Just leave it in.
That's our that's our first T-shirt right there. Hashtag edit.
Hashtag no.
Then underneath, that's a great T-shirt. Hashtag edit, hashtag no. Griffiny Riffs, get your merch this Christmas.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have it ready. So just kidding.
Yeah, don't try and order. You can send us money, but you won't get shit. Like, you won't get nothing. We might send you whatever's around, like lint from our pockets.
Or the baby spider nest that's in the bedroom.
There's a nest of spiders.
It's like one of those little balls. It started as like a fuzzy little ball that looked like a cotton ball.
And we saw the spider.
And the spider was there, and she made it, but now it's getting bigger and darker, and I feel like it has to go, but Chris just won't kill it, and then I feel like I have to be the murderous villain.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to kill. I know they're spiders, and I do have a fear of them.
Right, but I feel like, do you want 20 young spiders in the bedroom eventually?
What if I'm going to work tomorrow and I get fucking mowed down, right? And like Buddha is there and he's like, bitch, you killed all them spiders. What's my fucking rule? I'm like, I haven't a clue. Don't kill things. And he goes, yeah. To the lake of fire. Do they believe in hell?
Where do bad folks go when they die? No, lake of fire. No, everyone. Meat Puppets, Nirvana. No. Go to a lake of fire and flies and see each other on 4th of July.
We can't hear you, Tiffany, louder.
No.
I'll get the clicks going.
It's meant to fade out. No.
Yeah,
hey.
Yes, I'm familiar with the song, but I don't want to touch the spider nest. Like, I don't have it in me.
Oh,
I was driving the bus one time, I think I told you, and there was a fly in the windscreen, and I was like, shoo, fly, and I turned on the windscreen wipers, and I crushed half his body, and he was just like writhing in agony, and then died. And I had to look at it for like a half hour, and I felt awful. And the fact that that happened and I'm still talking about it means it's fucked me up. And I can't. Please don't ask me to do it, Tiffany, please.
Okay, fine.
I killed that scorpion for you in Thailand. Don't ask me to kill the baby spiders.
It's just that I feel like they should have really thought about their location.
Yes, because they're educated beings. See, they're not privileged like you and me. Because they're fucking spiders. Here, look, I'm moving on.
Okay,
Moving
well,
swiftly on.
I think, I think we're pretty
What
much
time we
winding
get?
down for
31.
for the week.
Yes, we put out the first episode. We got a good response. Thank you very much for listening. And we were kind of like wondering what the hell we were going to talk about for the second one, because when you start with fucking, it's a tough act to follow.
Well, the second song is always, I feel like when you start out, like what does he say in High Fidelity, making a mixtape is a very delicate art, because, you want to start out high, but then you want to go a little bit higher, but you don't want to blow your wad, so you got to bring it down again. And that's what he says. He kind of describes it in such a way. And so I feel like, we're working on that. We kind of blew the wad last week, and now we're like, how do we get people excited again?
But I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to try and go above that, when we should just relax and enjoy it, just have a chat.
Thank you for listening. You're a great audience, and thanks for thanks for giving us feedback. On the interwebs and in person, it's been really great to know that everyone's giving it a listen.
Yeah, and if you want to donate some money, please feel free.
Don't do that,
Tiffany.
Don't do that.
We're
not there.
Tiffer.
We're not there.
Tiffer.
We're not there. Anyway, you guys are great.
I'll put up a message later.
You're great. Bye.
Send money to the link below.